In this video, we'll cover feedback in Service CEO. Feedback can be entered in two ways. First is internally. An administrator in the company can log in and enter in feedback on any work orders. The second approach is by enabling our customer portal. You can give your customers 24/7 access to their job history, which also allows them to give you feedback for a particular work order. First, let's demonstrate the setup of feedback, and then we'll show you both examples. We're going to open the Settings tab here. First, show you application setup. There's a feedback categories section. The feedback categories come into play when entering feedback. Basically allows you to categorize the feedback, whether in this scenario it's complaint or perhaps a compliment. You can set up as many categories as you'd like in the feedback. It helps you summarize and see exactly what type of feedback you're getting. On top of categories, you can also build any custom fields that you'd like. Here in the feedback section, you can see here we've actually built two fake ones, a fake text field and a fake drop down. Just keep in mind you can set up as many custom fields as you like on here. You can also set up as many feedback categories as you'd like on here. To show you first entering feedback internally, we'll find a work order that has been closed. So for example, let's go with this customer here, Thomas Baker. On work orders themselves, there's an Add Feedback button. Note that there's also a feedback option from the customer record. That's a lie. Check, go back. We'll go ahead and click Add Feedback. This is feedback for this particular work order only. You can see some of the fields we have here. The first is the contact. If there are more than one contact on the customer account, it's helpful to know who's giving the feedback. Next is the category. Again, we've set up these categories here, but you can add more with the green plus symbol. A summary is a required field. This is essentially a description, a quick overview of the actual feedback itself. Next we have a value. This ranges from positive 10 to negative 10. Most commonly 10 is best and negative 10 is worst. Say this is a 7. Again, we have these custom drop down that I've built here and a custom text field. Just keep in mind you can build as many custom fields on here as you'd like, which are visible to the customer when entering feedback from the customer portal. Next, we will simply describe exactly what happened. You can also internally choose which employee to actually assign the feedback to. For example, here we'll assign this feedback to Keith. When we save this, we've now entered feedback on this job for the customer Thomas Baker. We can come back and see the job. Keep in mind, the feedback does not show up anywhere here on the job itself. The feedback rather shows up here on the customer record under the feedback tab. Also, the feedback will be linked to the employee as well. If I click here to come into Keith's employee record, I'll be able to see any and all feedback that Keith has ever received from customers. That's the first way to enter feedback. Now let's switch over to our customer portal in a different browser and show you entering feedback as a customer through the portal itself. Here we've opened a new browser. Our customer is CC Sabathia here. The details of the tabs and the functionality is covered in more depth in the customer portal training video. However, for the purposes of this video, we're going to go to the Jobs tab. Here on the Jobs tab, you can see any work that has ever been completed for this customer. To give feedback, the customer will simply click on the work order number here. On the left, they can either send you a note or give you feedback. If they click Give Feedback, you can see here all the same fields apply. Category, was this a complaint or praise? Again, we can give a value, 10 to -10. I do have my drop down set up here, however, keep in mind the customer does not have the green plus symbol here to add values to the drop down. Only internal administrators can do that. Finally, there is the comment section. Note that there's no employee section on this. This is because when a customer comes in and adds feedback through the portal, the system automatically assigns feedback to the employee who is assigned to that work order. I'll click Save here. I've now entered feedback for this particular work order. If I come back and see this is job 11720 here, let's copy this. We'll come back to our other system, Service CEO. Go to the Work Orders tab, and first let's find that work order. I can then, again, click my customer's name here to come see any feedback that this customer has entered here. For example, the great job with the value of 10. And I can click on Oscar, who is assigned to this particular work order, to see that the feedback has now been assigned to Oscar's account. This concludes the training video on using feedback with Service CEO. Please contact technical support or your customer success manager with questions or for help.